Satu. Hello everybody, good afternoon. My name is Danar Sasongojati. Today, me with my friend Amawati, my partner, ship going to the presentation which titled Communication Facing Issues a Global Identity. Okay, today, right now, I'm going to explain first there is a first step is what and on the role of the internet. A. The internet as our central station. Wired communication. Take a moment and think about how technology influences your communication with your friends, loved ones, and acquaintances. There is several questions. The several questions which match with our daily activity. In if we too much going to use technology, that means doesn't not good of us. Like the question number one is how much of your interaction time is face to face? How much of your interaction time via a gadget? Could you go a week without a technology? Could you go a week without a technology? How has your use the internet shaped your communication style and your identity? Like that, if like the examples of these questions answers is if we use technology too much and gadget, we doesn't meet our life in our life daily life like that. We must rarely use the gadget for the facing to face with our friends, our family, and our coworker like that. And the next is number two is the transformation of local and global identities. Local made up identities made up ethnic values, practice, tradition of the local identity communal group. And the second is global identity, adopt and embrace international practice and values over global, keep up with latest trends, technological advance, etc. And the next is number seven, the number two, the transformation of local and global identities. A, the lens of television identity imitations. Television is an identity supplier, provides escape from traditional based cultural values and forges sense of communal belonging. Children across the globe watch international programs based on United States and values of pop culture and consumerism. B. Global television impact shapes the way we see our world, influences how we form our stereotypes of people in different cultures or ethnic group. The next is the transformation of local and global identities, cultural system and identities that reflect it go through change in a continuum from old to new, from historical narrative. This change occur in the different time and space through the same internal or local and also external forces agents. As objective as culture may look, it gets transformed and reshaped by subjective perception and sense conception identities of different people who in return are defined by this could be perception and conception that's stem from but not limited to factors like age, gender, experience, religion, politics, and encounter with other cultural identities. The relationship between the people, cultures, and people identity is not linear but more of a back and forth movement as it tries to transfer its meaning to the other. At this point, I would like to suggest that as this wave of transformation move, cultural systems at the foundation level seems to be more rigid compared to the identities that were founded on it, which are more fragile. So identity shifts can be going on at the individual level while the culture more or less remains stable. Okay, the next is the transformation of local and global identities, that is the reconstruction of cultural system and identities. That is, with time, the difference between the old and the new becomes very clear, yet the process that create this difference could be complex and difficult to appreciate. This is because the change occurs rhizomatically, making almost difficult to control. Many internal and external factors happen to affect cultural patterns and definitions to create new patterns with time. Since the importance of having an identity to access cannot be overemphasized, people try to reconstruct their identity after encounters with transformational forces. Okay, in this step, which will be explained with my friend Elmawati. Okay, with the pleasure, Elmawati, let go.
Okay, thank you, Dana. Communication issues facing a global identity. This point A, way, and easy, and then point explain it, the point A, the, di- the, the dialectical proof of netizen. Dialectical tensions are conflicts that come from opposing forces that excite the same time. Said Baxter and Montgomery 1996. And then inti this the point A, the tipping point communication pattern change. The technology has compressed time and space frequencies the pragmatic of our communication. This free-flowing context can have but pros and cons in our face-to-face interaction with an actual person from the third class culture. And then next, the explain it point is personal identities in flux or the global space. What is personal identity? As the wine of the globalization trip across culture border, one of the most important issues we can address is the issue of our personal identity. Who we are is a reflection of our interactions with others. Oftentimes, we may not be happy with our identity, choosing to question or compare ourselves with others. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's explain one by one point. Point A, the dialectical truth of netizen. Spatial zone dialectic. The internet gives privacy and anonymity in the safe environment on one preferred for a netizen. A netizen prefers to stay in solitude of their own room, usually in the internet, and find little place with the world. And then the explain temporal dialectic. To explain the second temporal dialectic, the internal construct and expand space and time via its multi-channel, multi-screen, and the instantaneous screen-to-screen delivery format. Externally, a netizen may experience tension by constantly switching between monotrack focus and multi-track focus on the internet. Okay, point B, the tipping point communication pattern check. Okay, the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the point, explain it. Uh, First, gadget communication pattern various. Technology influences how we talk to other people. Texting, of course, as preferred source of the communication simply. Yeah, because we may not want others to hear our conversations in challenge to any individual truth. Then point second, sharing internet patterns with the gadget. How the effect of the gadget pattern. Yeah. how the fact in this, given the fact that we spend majority of the time online or with gadget, it's not surprising and that our relationship might be affected, that affect the gadget of the pattern. And then present but virtual, one of the fastest growing thanks to the business economy is virtual term activity. Individuals around the world communicate and collaborate across a variety of time zones on graphic location. And then language stylist, text, script, and talk. Stylist language is a form of language that a speaker use that are usually measured on a formal, informal scale. The styles of language are used differently dependent on the text system of subject, pattern our audience, and the model of the discourse or writing, and the formality of the occasion. And the last, communication to the social change again explaining. Change again how this development is internet to become again of social change. Yes, of course. Then next, okay. And the point B, finally, personal identity plus the global phase. The global phase point the important what question, but its personal identity as the wheel of globalization before culture borders on most important issues we can address is the issue of our personal identity. Who we are, who we are is relevant action if our interaction with others. Oftentimes, we may not be happy with our identity, choosing the situation or compare ourselves with others. This is uh, this is the moment of struggling and experiencing in age where time is not a commodity. Ourselves you can be transformed in an instant. Okay, next. Yeah, conclusion. We agree the standard identity ascension efforts increasingly narrow in the light of recent advancement in recession and global history. Ancient history, the temporal emergency and increasing completely of different layers of the universe located human build history and important but small and vulnerable part of us with the world. To what extent, okay? To what extent, therefore, is this history relevant to our understanding of possible self-other realization? Okay, to answer this question, the paper examined the three options. Firstly, that out firstly that otherness can indeed be placed outside the human species and the planet Earth. The cosmological viewpoint provides an important source, even a foundation for global identity, but is not a sufficient solution and problem to identity. And secondly, other otherness can also be located either in our own past, alternatively in our contemporary being, when seen from a point of view of possible future position toward the story. Utilizing the social identity theory, we, we conclude the outlining a cosmic temporal realization and ethical conception of global cosmopolitical identity that is based on both and but positive and negative elements. Yeah, if you have questions regarding the focus in this presentation, please feel free to contact me or me at the elmaagustin@gmail.com. Okay, the and finally, I would like to finish this presentation with this parting thought. Make technology work for you, not the other way around tightly defined. Okay, and that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for your time and attention. See you.